Welcome to Checkpoint. Yeah. How are you doing? How was your day? I hope it was good. Yes, I always know that you would have a good day. And no matter how bad you think it went, there is always a silver lining and a good thing about any day you have experienced. So welcome again to Checkpoint. I would like to start this program by first and foremost saying thank you, and thank you once again for everything that you do for us at Checkpoint. And because of you, our message is reaching a wider audience. So thank you so much for your likes, thank you for your comments, thank you for your shares, thank you for also subscribing to our YouTube channel. And because of all you do, our message is reaching a wider audience. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough. All right, it's another time for Checkpoint. You know, in Checkpoint, we educate, we equip, and we empower you with right counsel, with ideas, with insights that have the ability to inspire you and influence you towards becoming the best version of yourself. And I know in my heart that as you have joined us today in Checkpoint, you will receive one thing, a word, an instruction, an insight that would help you in life, that will make you become a better person and make you become that better version of yourself that you have always wanted to have. So welcome to Checkpoint. I'm really excited to have you. Now, you must do something for me. Are you ready? I'd like you to invite your friends, your relations, your associates, your neighbors. Let them know that Checkpoint is on right now. And we have no other better person to have in Checkpoint but you. So I'm glad you are here. Please invite your friends, invite your relations, invite your associates, and invite your neighbors. Let them know that it is time for Checkpoint. Now, I'll be right back after the break, but that will be when I would show you the topic for today. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back right after the break. See you. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm so glad you are here. I know by now you have invited your friends, your relations, your associates, and your neighbors, because today at Checkpoint, we're going to share something very, very powerful. And today, I don't know how many of you who already know that I am an emotional intelligence expert, and I'll be sharing with you something very important on emotional intelligence. Now, today, I'll be sharing with you on the need for emotional intelligence, the need for emotional intelligence. I'd like to start this particular session by telling you what then is emotional intelligence. Now, I'm going to break it down to the barest minimum in a way you'll be able to understand it, even if you're a layman, as it relates to issues and concepts concerning emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence is simply the act or the process of understanding your own emotions, all right? Understanding your feelings and controlling those feelings. So it is one thing that for you to understand how you feel, it is another thing for you to be able to control how you feel. Now, emotional intelligence is the art of understanding and controlling how you feel, then tuning into the emotions of others in order to have an effective relationship with them. So there are several concepts around the emotional intelligence. Number one, you have to understand yourself. Secondly, you have to have the ability to control how you are feeling per time. And then thirdly, you should be able to tune into the emotions of people around you, people you work with, people in your family, people you network with, and then understand how they are feeling about a thing so that you can have effective relationships with them. So emotional intelligence is not just about yourself, it's about how you relate with other people. Many times we have heard about the IQ, that is the intelligence quotient. It has to do with somebody's ability to understand, all right, your ability to be intelligent. It has to do with your ability to write exams, okay, learn and then write exams and pass and succeed in academically. That is what intellectual quotient is all about. So when we're talking about intelligence quotient, we're talking about your ability to understand what you are reading, understand what you have learned, write exams, and come out with flying colors. All right, so intelligence quotient is not the same thing with emotional quotient. So we have four basic kind of quotients. We have the IQ, we have the SQ, we have the AQ, and then we have the EQ. Let me take it again. We have the IQ, we have the SQ, we have the AQ, and we have the EQ. Now let me take them one after the other. The IQ is the intelligence quotient, which talks about the degree to which a person is intelligent, the degree to which a person is able to understand what the person is being taught academically, the degree to which you are able to be smart, understand things, all right? So secondly, the AQ. The AQ, let me talk about the SQ first. The SQ is about the social quotient. So when we talk about social quotient, is your the degree to which you are able to relate with people, the degree to which you are able to connect with people, be social, network with people. That is the SQ. Now the third one, the AQ, is called the adversity quotient. So it means the degree to which you are able to go through a rough patch in life and come out from it unscarred. Okay. So you can go through difficulties in life, go through hardship in life, and then you come out without losing your mind. That is what the SAQ is all about. Now we have the final one, the EQ, which I just told you is simply the act of being able to understand and control your emotions, then tune into the emotions of others in order to have effective relationship with them. So why are we talking about emotional intelligence today? Because we see a lot of things going on wrong even in our society. Have you seen a scenario where somebody has an accident or along the road, and then people who are supposed to come and help the person, assist the person who has had an accident, they come bearing their phones in hand, trying to video or capture that moment just for the views, just for the likes, without considering that the person before them who is passing out with every little second is somebody who actually needs their help. We need to raise a generation of men and women, boys and girls who are emotionally intelligent, because we have so many adults who are not emotionally intelligent. Your ability to understand how you are feeling, your ability to control how you are feeling, your ability to tune into the feelings of others, your ability to have an effective relationship with them. This is what is called emotional intelligence. Can I share with you that many of us go through several feelings? As a matter of fact, a research was conducted, and it was found out that most human beings go through up to 400 emotional experiences per day. I'm not even talking about per week or per month, per day, depending on your level of interaction. So we go through lots and lots of emotional experiences. But then, is it not very funny that there's a lot of emphasis on the IQ, a lot of emphasis on going to school, learning, coming out with good grades, and very little emphasis on something that happens to us so many times a day. So we need to lay a strong grip on our emotions, because if you do not take care of yourself, take care of your emotions will take away your life. Let me say this again. Some allow emotions to take over their lives, and while others allow emotions to take their lives. So emotion has been responsible for taking over people's life. The same emotion has been responsible for taking the life of people. So whichever way, it is not good. Your emotions are not supposed to control you. You are supposed to control your emotions. So don't let your emotions control you. Rather, be the one to control your emotions, because your emotions can take over your life. Your emotions can take away your life. It is in your hands to decide which one is most appropriate for you. And because you want your emotions to be you want yourself to be in control of your emotions, you have to be careful on how you exercise and release these emotions. Okay, now most of us go through feelings of loneliness, depression, rejection, failure, intense pressure. Some of us are even snubbed by people that we regard or we highly respect. Some others are persecuted for no just reasons. Others are going through, are being bullied, okay? even office bullies, others are even being harassed, even as adults, others are going through infatuation. So on a daily basis, we have emotions running across our lives. Some of us are going through feelings of frustration. You know, you have labored, you have tried in life, and it seems that things are not working. You have big visions, you have big dreams, but those big visions and big dreams seem like they are not working. Okay, there is basically no a result for all the effort and all the money you have spent, and then you come to that point where you begin to have lots of resentment and anger and frustration. All of these things are emotions. And remember, you are not your emotion is not you. Let me say this again. You are not your emotion, and your emotion is not you. As a matter of fact, if you are watching me right now and you have been listening to me for a while, you understand what I'm saying, please let me know what catchy points you received in the comment section. Type them out in the comment section so that I know you are live and I can acknowledge your presence. So please go ahead, let me know what is hitting you particularly, and how how this message has been a huge blessing to your life. So we go through all of these emotions. We go through all of these emotions, the feelings. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are sad, sometimes we are feeling fulfilled, sometimes we are not feeling fulfilled, sometimes we are feeling like we're wasting our time, sometimes we feel undervalued, underutilized. All of these things are feelings, and you cannot allow yourself to come to that point where you suffer what we call an emotional hijack. An emotional hijack happens when you are no longer in control of your emotions. Rather, your emotions are in control of you. So as a person, as an individual, you want to be effective, you want to be good at what you're doing. You cannot allow your emotions to take over you. You have to make up your mind that your emotions will not control you. You are not your emotions are not you. You have to come to that point where you are firm on what you believe, on what you know that is going through you, so that your emotions will not hijack you. You know, that have you seen anybody who has ever come to the point where they are saying, oh, I'm so sorry for what I did, I'm so sorry for what I did to you, I didn't mean to do that, but somehow the devil came and took over? Wow, it is usually their emotions who came and took over, because they were no longer in control of their emotions. Their emotions took control of them. But listen to me, you cannot afford to allow your emotions to take control of you. You are meant to be the one who is supposed to be in charge of your emotions. So don't allow what we call an emotional hijack to happen to you. Now, if you heard me loud and clear, just type emotional hijack in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are on emotional hijack, because when you allow your emotions, your feelings of anger, feelings of betrayal, feelings of frustration to take a hold of you, you begin to act in certain ways you do not think you would ever have to act in, because you just let go of those emotions, and emotions hijacked you and took over. All right, so you don't want that to happen. Now, sometimes when we go through these feelings of loneliness, rejection, failure, intense pressure, whether we are suffering, going through being bullied or infatuation, sometimes this leads to a lot of other kinds of emotions, like anxiety, like depression, like anger, like feelings of isolation, like feelings of even insomnia. All right, your inability to sleep at night, and then some people take it to very terrible extremes, like committing suicide. You see, most times it is one emotion that leads to another emotion that leads to this point, because sometimes before somebody will commit suicide, the person must have been frustrated, the person must have been angry, the person must have been tired, the person must have been ashamed, and they do not want these feelings to keep going on. Now, instead of figuring out ways to control those feelings, do you know what they do? They take their lives. That is why you cannot allow your emotions to hijack you, to take over your life, and you cannot allow your emotions to take away your life. So your emotions can take over your life, your emotions can take away your life, but most importantly, you can control your emotions. That's the good news. That's the good news. That's what I'm sharing with you today on the need for emotional intelligence. Can I tell you that there are two sections of your brain? One part is called the rational brain and the other part is called your emotional brain. Now, your rational brain is the part of your brain with which you are able to converse, discuss with people, think intelligently, write exams, read and understand, take appropriate decisions. But there is also this other side of your brain called the emotional brain. This side of your brain is majorly in charge of how you feel about anything that is happening to you, how you feel about something that you want to do. So it's basically a part of your brain that is in charge of your emotions. Now, you should be careful not to allow your emotional brain to supersede your rational brain. Let me say this again. Don't ever allow yourself to come to a point where your emotional brain is the one that is superseding your rational brain. Let your rational brain supersede your emotional brain, while your emotional brain is also acting out, all right? It's also showing that you are feeling those things, but then let your rational brain stabilize your emotional brain. You cannot allow your emotional brain to take over your rational brain. If not, your emotions will give reasons to things that should not be. All right, so you get angry, you want to kill a person because your emotional brain says so. But your rational brain will have to remind you of the consequences of taking another person's life. You cannot be free. You have to die for it. Forget everything we watch in the movie. Somebody gets you angry, you go shoot. That's why we have a lot of terrible shooters everywhere. Terrible people losing their lives because people are not able to balance between their rational brain and their emotional brain. So you have to ask yourself every time before you take a decision, this decision I'm about to take, is it from my rational brain or is it from my emotional brain? Can I tell you that few years from now, no one will remember your most embarrassing moments? Let me say this again. Few years from now, no one at all, I mean no one, will remember your embarrassing moments. Those embarrassing moments that made you want to commit suicide, those embarrassing moments that made you want to kill yourself, those embarrassing moments that made you feel like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I'm too ashamed to continue. I'm too ashamed to show my face. Those embarrassing moments that made you feel like I cannot be in a relationship with this person again. Remember that few years from now, nobody will ever remember your most embarrassing moment. It will only be for a while. Let me ask you this question. Did you have anybody in school days when we were very little that had an embarrassing moment? Oh, eventually, where is the person? Do they still remember those embarrassing moments? Do people around them still remember those embarrassing moments? As I tell you this, I can remember vividly one of my very embarrassing moments. Now, if I don't tell you, I'm not sure anybody anywhere in this world will be able to remember that embarrassing moment. So I was just a little girl. I think I was just about 11, 12 years. That was when I had my first travel. The very first time I traveled from one state to another state without a supervision, all right, without any parents being around. And then on that particular day, on that fateful day, I'm not sure I've told this story before, and I can't say I feel ashamed talking about it, but it's just for you to know that everybody has their own embarrassing moments. So I will share with you that I would consider like my most embarrassing moment on earth. All right, so far, I'm hoping I don't have something as embarrassing as that. So I was just about 11, 12, and my mom sent me to the village to meet my grandmother, and I was supposed to give her some money, and as I traveled, I went there, met her, everything was well, everything was smooth, it was fine until it was time for me to return back to my parents. So on the day I was to return to my parents, my grandmother compelled me out of love to eat. So I was telling her, Grandma, I can't eat this early and stuff like that. I said, no, I cannot allow you to go back to your parents without eating. So she made me eat, and I ate. Oh, Grandma's food. I ate it. My tummy was stuffed, and I then embarked on this journey. This journey was going to last for about 3 to 4 hours, and then I traveled. On the way, I was pressed, and the bus could not stop specifically for just this girl to go eat herself. And then it happened that along the way, in the process of trying to hold it in and the rest of that, I eventually messed myself up because my stomach could not hold it anymore. All right, so my stomach could not hold it in, and eventually some part of it started letting it themselves out. So it was so bad. Eventually people started shifting far away from me. You know, I was smelly, and it's really embarrassing. I may be the one feeling this way now, but certainly I can't think anybody remembers this moment. So eventually people started shifting away from me, and then I had to, when we got to the park, I had to leave that particular bus and then boarded another taxi. Now it was so bad at that moment that people will come in and they'll be like, and then they'll step out. So eventually the taxi driver was really not happy. He couldn't get more passengers to convey and get more money. But then he had compassion on me. He looked at me. I was a young girl, and he was like, "What happened to you?" I said, I ate, and I embarked on the journey. And eventually, I had to put all over my body. You know, I was purging, and I couldn't hold it in. He eventually took me safely to the front of our house. I alighted, thanked him enough, but I'm sure he had to go and wash his car that day. So that's like my most embarrassing moment. I don't even know why I'm able to share it without compulsion. Like, nobody forced me to talk about this, but I see myself sharing it. But it was really, really, really embarrassing. And I know some of you are angels from on high, okay? You've never had anything like this happen to you, but that was my own embarrassing moment. I've had other embarrassing moments, but I think this one tops the chart, okay? So why am I sharing this? If you are emotionally intelligent, you will understand that one situation does not have to define your entire existence. Let me say this again. You would, if you are emotionally intelligent, you will understand that one situation, one condition does not have to define your entire existence. So you have to tell yourself that, oh, this was an embarrassing moment, but this is not the entire story of my life. This was an embarrassing moment, but it does not have to define my very existence, okay? Just tell yourself, this happened, and it's okay. It could happen to somebody else. It could happen to anybody else. And then you move on with your life, all right? So, we also have to understand that in life, some people are more inclined to react or behave in a certain way. Some people are more inclined to handle disappointments and stress better than others. Some others cannot handle, no matter how small a disappointment is, no matter how small a stress is. But one thing that we all can do is that we all can build up our emotional intelligence capacity. We can build up our capacity for emotional intelligence so that no matter what pressure comes our way, we will be able to handle it. I like you to see yourself as a heart monitor. All right. Have you seen a heart monitor before in a hospital? Yes, a heart monitor is just like a machine that watches the condition of the heart. And basically what a heart monitor does is that it reads the heartbeat. So you see the heart beating, and then the heart monitor goes up, and then it comes down. So it goes up and down, goes up and down. And then when you see that in life makes us to have moments where there is an up and there is a down. So we have to be careful about the things that we feel. So sometimes you have to appreciate the fact that life will be up and some other times life will be down. Sometimes things will be all right and sometimes things will not be okay. But let's see ourselves as a heart monitor. If you see yourself as a heart monitor, you know that sometimes the reading is up, sometimes the reading is down. So sometimes life goes good, sometimes life goes bad. And then when you look at the heart monitor and then it's going on a straight line, like ping, on a very straight line, what does it mean? It means that there is no life, and that is dangerous. So when you see your life just moving on a very smooth straight plane and there are no ups, there are no downs, just smooth straight, something is wrong somewhere. But if you experience when life is like good, up, and sometimes life is down, that shows you are alive. So the ups and downs that you experience in life is proof that you are living. It's proof that you are alive. It's proof that you are still here. You are still fighting. You are still surviving. when it just starts smooth and then there are no interruptions, there are no distractions, it is not life, all right? So understand that this is life, and then you are living life. And when you're living life, sometimes it will be up, and then sometimes it will be low, because that is life. It's proof that you are very much alive. And I want you to also do something in order to be emotionally intelligent. You don't ever ignore what created the emotion you are feeling. Don't ignore what created the emotions you are feeling. Sometimes you may be feeling a particular emotion. You need to sit down and ask yourself, why am I feeling the way I am feeling? Is it a failed test? Is it a disappointment? Is it trouble at home? Is it something somebody told you you're having a bad day? Sit down and ask yourself, what created this emotion I am feeling right now? Did my husband talk to me anyhow? Did my wife shout at me? Did my kids misbehave? Was I snubbed by a friend? Was I disappointed by somebody I trusted? Or was I betrayed by a family member? Whatever it is, sit down and understand what created that emotion. Then let yourself know that this emotion does not define you. This situation does not define your life. So I want to share with you things you have to do before, so that your emotion does not take over. Things to do to avoid emotional hijack. I've told you what an emotional hijack is, and if you did not hear it, it means you have to go back to this video and watch it from the beginning so that you can get the concept. Now you have to stop and breathe, all right? Stop first. Stop and breathe. Don't allow your emotions to take over. No matter how bad what you are feeling is, stop and breathe. I like you to type it in the comment section. Say stop and breathe. Stop and breathe. I know you're saying, this person did that to me. That's what he did the other time. That's what she did the other time. That's how they disappointed me. That's how they frustrated me. This has been happening. It must be an evil cycle. It must be an ancestral cycle. Stop and breathe. How difficult can that be? But you have to do it intentionally, all right? You have to stop and breathe, because you have to pause. Take a pause. Stop and breathe. Breathe and remind yourself that you have life. Number two, understand that this one experience cannot define your life. I've said that before. I'm saying it again. Understand that this one experience cannot define your life. Number three, tell yourself that you are probably not the only person going through this kind of situation. Remind yourself that you're not the only person, that you're probably not the only person going through this kind of situation. There are others everywhere around who are equally going through hard times and difficult times and frustrations and pain and rejection and loneliness and betrayals. You are not the only one going through these emotions. Somebody has been sick just as you were. Somebody has been betrayed just as you were. Somebody has been frustrated just as you are. There is pressure, intense pressure on somebody else just as you are. Loved ones have forsaken somebody else just as you are. So don't take it personal. Don't take it like it's happening to just you. And somebody will say, why me? And I want to ask you, why not you? Don't ask me why me. My answer for you is, why not you? Who else should it be? Somebody would have to go through this kind of things. And if you tell me why me, why will it not be you? So you are probably not the only person going through this kind of hardship. You're probably not the only person going through this hard time, because you need to know that there is always something that somebody else is going through. And sometimes this may even make you to be able to appreciate somebody else. It may make you to be able to appreciate somebody else. Understand that people are going through tough times. So if you're going through a tough time and you're able to manage it, or you're able to hold yourself well, you're able to comport yourself and have that poise, even despite the difficulty you are going through, then that should tell you that some other person is going through something that may be even worse. But they are able to control and comport themselves, because they don't want to leak on people. They don't want to bleed on people, especially if you're a leader. A leader might be a bleeding leader based on disappointments, betrayals, frustrations. Things may not be working the way you want it to be. But one thing a leader must not do is that a leader should not bleed on his followers. A leader should not bleed on her followers. If you are a bleeding leader, please make out time to rest. Go to a place where you can have some me and alone time and then heal. Heal so that you don't bleed on the people that are following you. See, you may be feeling frustrated, you may be feeling betrayed, but don't forget that the people that follow you also have emotions. They also have emotions, and some of them are really going through hard times equally. So don't act like you're the only one who is having a hard time. Others are equally having a hard time, but everyone is trying to comport themselves and manage their lives and live the life that they have to live. So please, if you're a leader and you are bleeding, please, as a bleeding leader, do not bleed on the people, rather lead the people. You are called to lead the people, not to bleed on the people. All right? So be careful. Be very careful so that you don't transfer these aggressions on people. And we have leaders that once anything happens to them, they pick that aggression and they transfer it on everybody around them. And that shouldn't be the case. So have this ability where you're able to control how you are feeling. So you feel like smashing somebody's head, but you're controlling it. You feel like beating somebody very terribly, but you're controlling it. You feel like destroying somebody, but you're controlling it. We have stories of men and women who are not able to control their emotions, and they are paying for it with their life. Some of them are being sentenced to life imprisonment. Some of them are being sentenced to death by hanging or by injection or by other lethal means. So you don't want to be in those shoes. Control your emotions. There will be things that will come against you, things that will come to pull you down, things that will come to distract you, things that will come to defocus you, things that will come to hurt you right in the heart where it pains you the most. But then don't lose focus, okay? Don't lose focus. Try to control your emotions. So number 4 thing you have to do so that your emotions do not take over is that you have to think of everything you are grateful for. Think of everything that you are grateful for. Listen to me, no matter how bad your life is right now, no matter how terrible things are for you right now, there is always something you have to be grateful for. There is always something you should be grateful for. No matter how bad things have gone in your life, no matter how frustrated you are feeling right now, there is always something to be grateful for. So you might be feeling you're not married yet, but you have life. Be grateful for it. You might be feeling that you don't have a job yet, but you are alive and you have good people around you. Be grateful for it. You might be feeling like your needs have not been met, but at least you are healthy. That's something to thank God for. That's something to be grateful for. So what you must do, a very powerful attitude you need is the attitude of gratitude. Develop this attitude of gratitude. Thank God for everything. Be appreciative of moments that you have in life. Be appreciative of little things that happen to you in life. That is how you control your emotions. So something bad and terrible may have happened right now. You're like, oh no, why did this have to happen? Think of something around that situation that you are grateful for. So a portion of your house collapses and you are angry, you are bitter, you are frustrated, you are feeling so terrible. But remember, the whole house is not collapsed. So with some reinforcement, it can be sustained. So there's always something to thank God for. You are angry and frustrated, you are feeling sick, but you are only sick. You are not dead yet. You're not dead. So while you are sick, thank God that you still have life despite the sickness. So there's always something to thank God for. There's always something to be grateful for. Learn the attitude of gratitude. It will help you. It is only grateful that are ungrateful. Let me say that again. It is only grateful that are ungrateful. If you are grateful, you cannot be a grateful. Let me say it again. If you are grateful, you cannot be a great fool. So Always have this attitude of gratitude. And then number 5 thing you have to do whenever you feel like your emotions are about to take over, before your emotions take over, number 5 thing you have to do is that you have to accept and support, accept the support of loved ones and professional help when necessary. Accept their support. When loved ones want to give you the support, when professional people want to give you support in their area of professionalism or in their area as solid support system in your family, accept that help, accept that support, because you need it. For many people, I always recommend that you should have a very healthy support system in your life. Have a group of people, they could be family, they could be friends, that are in your circle who speak power to you, who speak life to you, who speak strength to you, who speak positivity to you. It's not about a motivational speech something. Have people in your life who tell you that you can make it, who believe in your dreams, who will be there to support you no matter how down you go, who no matter how bad life beats you, they are there for you. Such people are priceless. They are priceless. Do not joke with them when you find such people. Who will be there no matter what happens is an asset, is a blessing. So rejoice when you have people like that. And then there are other professional people who are professionals in what they are doing as it relates with your emotions and how to help you. Accept help when necessary. Don't feel too big or too high to accept help. Always accept help whenever you need it, because, we are just human beings, right? There will be times where we need other people to help us figure out what it is we are going through. So when there's professional help, do what? Accept it. Now, I'd like to share with you how we would know the signs, the features, the characteristics of someone who has a higher emotional intelligence. So quickly, I want to caption it: when you have a higher intelligence quotient. Let's put it that way. When you have a higher emotional intelligence, okay? When you have a higher emotional intelligence, what do we see? How do we know that you have a higher emotional intelligence? Number 1, when you have a higher emotional intelligence, you will have stronger relationships. You will have stronger relationships. Have you seen anybody who they hardly make friends? Okay, so every time they seem to be quarreling, with everybody around them. Everybody around them are enemies. And when you come close to them, they're always like, this one hates me. That one does not like me. This one does not believe in me. They're always complaining about somebody. It is a sign that they do not have sufficient emotional intelligence. When they have a very high emotional intelligence, the first sign you will see, the first characteristics you will see, the first feature you will see is that they will have strong relationships. It is true that not all your relationships will be strong, but to a larger extent, this person who has a higher emotional intelligence will have friends, people they are in good relationships with. So one thing that is very characteristic is that when you have higher emotional intelligence, you will have stronger relationships. So higher emotional intelligence will give you equal to stronger relationships. All right, so when you don't always have people that there's nobody around you at all whatsoever, you can even trust, there is no family, no friend, no acquaintance, no neighbor, nobody at all you can trust, something is wrong somewhere. There's a problem. There is a problem somewhere. So this is something that you have to do for yourself in order to be properly emotionally intelligent, because we need to know that you're emotionally intelligent. And one of the ways through which you know that you're emotionally intelligent is that you are able to have stronger relationships. You're able to connect with people well. Now, number 2 way through which when you have emotional intelligence, a higher emotional intelligence, what will happen is that you will be able to connect with your feelings easily. Number 2, you'll be able to connect with your feelings easily. Now, what does it mean to connect with your feelings easily? You know, to connect with your feelings easily means that you know how you are feeling per time. Have you heard somebody say something like, I don't know how I'm feeling? It may not be a serious problem, but it shows that you're not in connection with your emotions at that moment. So you should be able to connect. When you have a higher emotional intelligence, then you should be able to connect with your feelings easily. You'll be able to know what is it that you are feeling, what is it that you are going through at the moment, and then that would really help you. So you need to be able to connect with your feelings easily, okay? Because that is the first concept, the first competence in emotional intelligence. You should be able to know how you are feeling per time. You should be able to connect with your feelings. You should be able to know, am I feeling sad? Am I feeling happy? Am I feeling frustrated? Am I feeling neglected? Am I feeling rejected? You need to know what it is you are feeling, because until you know what you are feeling, you cannot be able to address or even control that emotion. So you need to know what you are feeling per time. When you know what you are feeling, it helps you to control it. It helps you to take charge of that emotion. So that is how we know that you have a higher emotional intelligence. We said, number one, that when you have a higher emotional intelligence, that you will have stronger relationships. Number two, we said when you have a higher emotional intelligence, that you connect with your feelings easily. Number three, when you have a higher emotional intelligence, you'll be able to turn your intentions into actions. Another aspect of emotional intelligence that is worth mentioning is the aspect of motivation. Now, motivation is a key competence in emotional intelligence, because motivation helps you to do what you need to do, what you have to do, even when you are not feeling like doing it. All right, so this is very key, and you have to grasp this point. So motivation is a key competence of emotional intelligence. One thing that motivation does for you is that motivation helps you to do something that you don't feel like doing. All right, let me give you an example. On a particular day, you're so tired, you're having pains all over your bones and muscles and stuff like that, and then you are not able to wake up on time, but you have something you need to do. What helps you is a level of emotional intelligence that tells you, oh boy, oh girl, you have to wake up and do this thing. You have to do this for whatever good it is, for whatever reason. But that aspect of you self-motivating yourself is a competence of emotional intelligence. So we are saying that when you have a higher emotional intelligence, you'll be able to turn your intentions into actions. Do you know that many people are able to dream big? Many people are able to have great dreams and powerful dreams and desires, but not everybody is able to turn their intentions into actions. You should be able to turn your intention into action. So you move from that level of I will to I am. Okay? I will do this, I will do that, I will do this, I will do that. Then you move yourself from that I will level to I am doing this, I am executing this, I am implementing this. That movement from I will to I am doing is what we call emotional intelligence. Is what we call emotional intelligence. That ability for you to self-motivate yourself to do what you have to do what is necessary, to do it even when you don't feel like doing it, is emotional intelligence. So when you have a higher emotional intelligence, you are able to turn your intentions into actions. You show up even when you don't feel like doing it. You show up even when you are feeling frustrated. You show up when everybody feels like they are hating you in that office. You show up when you are feeling frustrated with that job. You keep showing up. So that's it about emotional intelligence. If you are feeling low, if you're feeling down, you show up, you are there. You turn your intentions into actions. You do what is necessary. You put in this job, put in the stress. The Bible says that seest thou a man diligent in his business, what will happen? He will stand before kings and not mean men. If you are pushing hard, you are pressing hard to achieve what you want to do, which means that you are overriding your feelings of tiredness. You are overriding your feelings of not being motivated. You are overriding your feelings of being neglected. You are overriding your feelings of being not appreciated. You are overriding your feelings of being looked down on or snubbed to do what is necessary for you to do. That is higher emotional intelligence. That is a high EQ there, because if you are looking for who has a high EQ, that's how you know. I said number one, you have stronger relationships. Number two, you're able to connect with your feelings easily. Number three, you're able to turn your intentions into actions. And number four way, when you have a higher emotional intelligence, number four, you are able to control your emotions and not be controlled by your emotions. You're able to control your emotions and not be controlled by it. I said it before and I will say it again. You are not your emotions are not you. You are meant to control your emotions are not meant to control you. And number four way through which we know that you have a higher emotional intelligence is that you are able to control your emotions and not allow your emotions to control you. When you have beaten somebody in public, fought in public, stolen something that does not belong to you before you are even aware that what you did is not good, it means that you are allowing your emotions to control you. And for somebody who has a higher emotional quotient or a higher emotional intelligence, you shouldn't allow your emotions to control you. You should be in firm control of your emotions. So you should be able to tell yourself, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I cannot do. These are boundaries I cannot cross. These are lines I must not cross. I know I need this. I know I want this, but I will not cross this line. I will not cross this boundary in order to have it. That is emotional intelligence right there. So in case you've been wondering, all this emotional intelligence talk, what is it? This is it. This is it in its simplest form, all right? So that you get to know what it's all about, okay? So finally, on today's checkpoint, I'd like to share with you the final point on when you have a higher emotional intelligence. When you have a higher emotional intelligence, you make informed decisions about what matters the most. You make informed decisions on what matters the most. You see, in life, there are things that matter to different people. There are things that matter to you. There are things that matter to me. But sometimes we're not able to make informed decisions. We're not able to make quality decisions on them. But you have to ask yourself, what is the best decision I have to make right now, without considering my emotions, without considering my feelings, without considering what I am feeling, rather what is right for me to do. So when you have a higher emotional intelligence, you are able to make informed decisions about what matters the most. You don't make it from your emotional brain, you make it from your rational brain. You know, remember I told you that there is a rational brain and there is the emotional brain. You cannot allow your emotional brain to overshadow your rational brain. So allow your rational brain to make decisions while your emotional brain can have the feelings, but make sure that the rational brain controls what your emotional brain is giving out so that you don't misrepresent yourself. So these are the few things I thought to share with you today on the need for emotional intelligence. I know that this is a concept that many have wanted me to teach on. I actually don't teach this for free, but then this one you can have it for free. But basically, what you need to know is that emotional intelligence is necessary for you to have good and effective relationships with people. And I hope that what I've shared today will be a huge blessing to your life. Now, invite your friends, your relations, your associates, and your neighbors. Let them know that this message will be of immense help to them. Do well to share this link to everyone that you know and let them know that this is what we feed on at Checkpoint. Thank you so much for watching today's program. Thank you for being with me on today's program. I'm sure you were very, very enlightened. And let's do this again next week on Checkpoint. I can't wait to see you there. Until I come your way again, keep making a positive, indelible mark in the lives of people and on the sands of time. I love you so much. Thank you. Mwah. everyone. I hope you were blessed by that message. All right, so I want you to just go ahead and support us. If you are led, go ahead and just sow into the account right on the screen. And I know that as you do that, God will bless you big time. Because of the seeds you are sowing, you'll be able to reach a wider audience on different platforms. So please do well to sow that seed, and God will bless you. Love you.